So what have you been up to, Alejandro? I mean, I know you've always got a lot on your plate. You just finished up your TEDx talks down in
I did, yeah. I did a TEDx talk in Twin Falls, TEDx Twin Falls. That was, I think, 2 weeks ago.
What was the title and topic there?
My title was Single Present Moment Thinking.
So awesome.
No. I'm sorry. Single Present Moment.
Single present
The
moment.
Single Present Moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and I had the fortune to go at your first TED Talk, which was amazing.
It's a good timing.
It was perfect timing.
Yeah.
So,
hold on. I was really looking to give somebody that ticket. I was like, I got to give this to the right person.
And then I saw
my mom
you.
couldn't make it. Yeah. So I had to. Then I saw you, and I was like, "Oh, Mark's getting his ticket."
I was thrilled. I was
Opening
ecstatic.
TEDx in Boise.
Absolutely, it was amazing.
The Contemporary Theater. Yeah, that was really good.
It was a high point of my life. There, it was awesome. So how similar was this talk in theme and whatnot as your other talk?
It has a similar undercurrent of kind of Buddhist view.
Mm-hmm.
So my first talk was called Disabled Thinking, and that really was about the power of thinking, which is understanding a bit about Buddhist view. And then this talk is the single present moment, and it's one of the deeper basic premises of Vajrayana Buddhism, understanding the single present moment.
Very nice.
So their undercurrent's the same, but TED Talks don't really want you to push any kind of religion or dogma or anything like that. So part of the speaking for TED in the more mainstream is to offer a good idea that's not really based in like a certain political view or that has too much like, I'm trying to push Buddhism here. So I don't really refer to anything along those lines.
Right. Well, and from what I know about Buddhism, right, it's something that can be plugged into kind of any ideology or support life in general. Is that accurate?
Yeah, you can take that route. A lot of more present-day concepts are based in, not intentionally based in Buddhist view, but tend to fall that way anyway.
Right.
So I feel that really understanding the Buddhist view makes things much more clear, and I am a deep Vajrayana Buddhist practitioner.
I know you are. So do you find that out there in the world, do you see people who have misconstrued what Buddhism is a lot, since you have deep knowledge?
Buddhism is very misunderstood. Mm-hmm. And then even on this TED Talk, one of the places I was staying, I got put up at some friends of a friend's place, and they're really into academic religion. So they're, the study of world religions from an academic perspective is not quite the same as actually studying with a Vajra master in a monastery setting. Mm-hmm. And then generally, I think people just misunderstand Buddhism.
Right.
So this, giving this TED Talk isn't really a Buddhist thing.
Right.
But I wanted to offer a very simple TED Talk, short. I think I was just under 8 minutes.
Okay.
And really about looking at what it is when we say, hold on a moment, give me a moment, be in the moment. We talk about these things of be here now. I even said in my talk, the Zen now. Mm-hmm. But I was like, if you don't really know what now is, it's hard to really capture trying to be there.
Right.
And if you don't understand it, then you can miss a lot of its potential and power.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's not just the present moment. Excuse me. It's the single present moment.
What's the differentiator in your mind?
Well, the key word there is single. So the question I ask is, when you say be in the present moment, what does that mean? And how long is a present moment? And do you really understand what is actually going on? Because viscerally, right now, has this visceral experience of always being right now. And that we project a lot into the past. We reflect a lot into the past and project a lot into the future. So we have this visceral feeling and experience that it's all kind of like one long thing. Yeah. And since it's always right now, we don't really understand that the single present moment is all that actually exists. And it's just a singular thing. Yeah. And all that I am and everything that exists only happens in a single present moment. The past is gone,
Yeah.
future does not yet here. It's weird because I like to say viscerally disillusioned, but it's really it's weird.
Yeah.
Because it's always right now.
Well, can the mind really comprehend that? I mean, grasp that because that's like a huge concept. I mean, that blow people's brains. It kind of blows my brain a little.
Well, a little bit, yeah, because it's always right now. Right? We don't really spend a lot of time contemplating, like, well, what is the present moment? And then what is the single present moment? Right?
Yeah.
And then first, I think you got to understand the idea of singular. That the present moment is actually a singular experience, and that we're having a lot of them in a row that we clump together that we call the present moment. Because I'll ask, like, well, how long is the present moment? Is it a tenth of a second, a hundredth of a second, a billionth of a second?
Yeah.
The smallest amount of time we can record Planck time or Planck time, however you want to pronounce it. It's like one with, I don't know, 23, 28 zeros behind it. It's an incredibly short amount of time, but the actual single present moment is the smallest amount of time possible. And it's the only moment you can actually choose.
Right.
So it's the only moment you actually have all of your power, because I can't change the past, and I can only influence the future. And then I even mentioned it in my TED Talk, and I said, this is mostly about sharing the idea of contemplation. Like, when was the last time you really thought about it? What is actually going on right now? And when I say right now, what does that really mean? I'm not talking about how we're always in the present moment. I'm just talking about the idea of a single present moment. The big idea is singular.
That's the differentiator. Right?
And then, in a much deeper perspective, it's actually very liberating because I'm not who I was in the past, right? And then typically we're like, oh, last year I screwed up, I really hurt someone, I lost my job, all these bad things happened to me. And then we live this moment like it was that moment.
Yeah, we carry that with us.
It defines us. But that moment is totally gone. I mean, the energy of that moment exists, and it influences right now, but it doesn't make right now. So right now, I'm totally me, because right now is the only moment that actually exists. It's the only moment that has any validity or any true power to change anything.
So see, that's why I think that talk has huge ramifications for everybody, right? Like I said, I mean,
I think so. Some people,
I can't, and it will be available on YouTube, right?
Eventually, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe next month, I think.
When you get the link, let me know, and I'll link it to
That'd
this
be great.
conversation so people can check it out.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. My thing with this is I want it to be trackable, like followable. When people are listening to it in the audience.
Right.
So after my talk, that's what people mention. They're like, man, I really enjoyed your talk.
Well, and that's what makes you so great is that you, obviously being a professional speaker, you design these things to be uploaded into the brain in the best way.
Yeah. That's not too overwhelming. I mean, you really want to get overwhelmed, then we go into the more deeper Buddhist view and understanding of all that. There's so many other Buddhist principles that are attached to just the idea of single present moment, like single present moment thinking, single present moment thinking only,
right?
All these things, but that part is more Buddhist. Let's just stay with single present moment. I think first understand the nature of the present moment, then we can talk about single present moment thinking, and then the whole idea of only, because only means that's all. This is it. There isn't anything other than. So the past and the future, they're non-existent.
Yeah.
So only the single present moment exists. And then you really think about it. Some people can think it's very creates a lot of fear.
Right.
But when you really contemplate it, and this is where the deeper training of Buddhist view helps. It's actually very liberating.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'm not who I was. Of course, 5 years ago when my whole economy crashed, I lost my dojo, all that, and my mom got really sick, and we can cling to that. Then we have a wound, right? But I'm not even who I was 5 minutes ago.
Right. And that's where the power comes in, right?
It's totally liberating. So I can change. I can change everything.
I love
it. And then I can also influence my future. Because then we also like to say, oh, I always screw this up. This always falls apart. So it also has the power to influence our future. Single present moment, very powerful.
Thank you, Alejandro. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.